Said like reviews.
Comfortable with being uncomfortable. And this is probably one of my favorite tips. And this is the one that's going to help you the most when it comes to acing that job interview. So, with that, we're going to go over some strategies to help you with getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. And with that, you do want to develop strategies for answering challenging or uncomfortable questions. On the spot questions can bring out the nervousness for many candidates. However, preparing a strategy ahead can allow your responses to flow so there's no dead, awkward pause or fumbling over words. Try to avoid saying the first thing that comes to mind and stay calm. It's okay if you don't have an answer ready right on the spot. Just utilize one of the strategies along with your preparation, and the answers will come. They will come. All right. And next, we're going to go over, some strategies that you can use to help you with getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. So, some strategies you can, implement are repeating the question back. And these are more so when you're receiving those challenging or uncomfortable questions. Repeating the question back to the interviewer. Politely asking them to repeat the question. Coming up with a pivot word or phrase to use when searching for an answer, such as, "That's a good question." Acknowledge it is a challenging question and request a few more moments to respond to that question. That's okay. They respect that professionalism. Just don't take too long. And you should, be thinking while you're using that phrase. All right, another strategy to help you with getting comfortable with being uncomfortable is to map out your route to the job interview. I'm sure some of you are like, "Well, what's so uncomfortable about that?" Well, I must say, as a hiring manager and someone who has spent, some time in HR, that you get plenty of phone calls of potential candidates who are lost and late for the interview. And I'm sure that can be very uncomfortable to have to call for an interview where you're supposed to be in the lobby and you're lost. You're not even sure if you're on the right street, let alone if you're on the right floor or at the right office. You're not sure where you're at, and that can be uncomfortable. So a strategy to get comfortable there is to map out your commute. So although, some of you may be familiar with the area, you still want to take a look at the route ahead of time to ensure you get to the facility on time. And for those who take public transit, you can still go online and check out the schedules, and you can look up the address and check out a bus schedule. You can check out the train schedule and see how long it'll take you and what routes you'll need to take to get there. Again, the objective is to reduce any obstacles that could arrive to have you arrive late or have you stressed out during the interview, because that will create uncomfortability. And we want you to help. We want to help with, you getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because let's face it, and we're all in the workforce, and that's just a part of it. We're not on vacation. We are here to work, so you're not going to always be comfortable, but you do always want to be professional, and that's essentially what we're saying. So, if you're able to, ride by the facility before the interview, so you can get a feel for, there's a pothole there on the third light, or if there's a one way, or if there's no U-turns and you end up passing it. Like, it can help with those little things that could get you caught up in traffic. And even though you were prepared and you left early, you ended up being late because you didn't know that there wasn't a U-turn, and you have to go up the freeway 3 more exits and come back, and now you're in 30 more minutes of traffic that you could have beat. So if you're able to, I know some of you aren't. Now, if you're on public transit, if you're a train, I mean, there's no traffic really there unless there's just some technical issues. Bus, just make sure you take an earlier enough route to get there on time. And on time is arriving about 15, 30 minutes early. Anything after that, you're late. All right. But also, if you're conducting a video interview, and make sure you set up your camera, make sure the audio's working, make sure your internet's good to go. Try to dial in early, and make sure you have your notes ready. And that's for interviews. And try to get that taken care of ahead of time so there's no glitches there. All right. And another thing to help out with that uncomfortability is to review your bullet points. Read over your short list of bullet points that you've prepared back in the preparation stage to ensure you reduce any anxiety or stress prior to going into that interview. You want to make sure that you keep the questions and responses fresh on the brain to allow a flowing response. Try not to refer to the notes during the interview, but feel free to bring them along with you to review in the lobby or the waiting area. You will want to do the same for the video interview as well. So, try not to look at the notes during the interview, but try to do it right before, prep while you're in that lobby, or prep right before the video interview. All right. And another one to help out with getting comfortable with being uncomfortable is ensure you get ample rest. I know that seems like, how is that related? But if you don't have ample rest, it can cause for a rough start to that day, which will just lead to a lot of uncomfortable moments, a lot of challenging opportunities when it comes to responses, when it comes to locating the facility and what have you. Let's keep in mind, we have a lot riding on the job, and it can be easy to have anxiety and stay up late nights, especially leading up to the big day. But be sure you get a good night's rest the entire week leading up to the interview. So you want to make sure you're developing good habits, and develop a routine for that week leading up. That way, you're not thinking about anything outside of the interview. And you've established a routine that, hey, I get up at 7 and I have breakfast and I get dressed, and I'm out the door. And you establish that every day. So that way, the time comes for the interview, you get up, you have breakfast, you go over your notes, you get out the door, and you're at the interview. You establish that routine. So it's not like you're running out the door. It's not like you're kind of caught off guard. And it's not like everything is getting thrown at you. You're actually on top of your day. And that can relieve so much stress and provide so much comfortability. And you'll have others sitting looking at you in the waiting room like, why is this one so casual, so nonchalant, and so prepared and focused? And it's because you've done your homework, you've done your due diligence, you've gotten your rest. So ensure you do establish a good routine. And lastly, be sure to lay out your interview outfit the night before, because we don't want any hiccups on the big day. So, while you're getting ready to get that rest, pull out the clothes that you're going to be putting on, the nice threads, and make sure you have it ready to go. And it also will be a good reminder to get yourself in that bed so you can get some rest. All right. But I do hope everyone did enjoy today's webinar. I appreciate the time and you all tuning in. We definitely try to be support that you can count on. And we utilize our platform to make sure we help those who are helping us most, and that's our team members. So with that, I do want to make sure that everyone does reach out if you didn't already. That way you can receive your certificate of completion, because that's what it's about, and it'll be a resume boost. And again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you definitely did enjoy the content. But I do thank you.